another video. Guys, this video is going to be about the planets in the third house. If you have any planets in your third house, this video is for you. So guys, let's talk about the third house and what it represents. It represents our communication, it represents our siblings, it represents our early learning, and it also represents like short trips. I will have timestamps linked below so you could just jump to the planet that you have. If you guys have the sun in your house, you're most likely the outgoing sibling, the sibling that gets a lot of attention. Also, you may be like the sibling that acts as some sort of authoritative figure, like to the younger ones. Maybe you have to take care of them or like step up and lead them in some sort of way. You may be the type of person that people just like really enjoy listening to whenever you talk. It's very like, the way you talk is very creative and it's very dramatic, and it pulls people in, and they want to hear you more, and they just want to be around you. So you're very good and very successful at communicating, even like in primary school, like high school and down. Like in high school and down, you guys probably were like the golden child, like the golden person that everybody kind of wanted to hang around and things like that. With the sun in the third house, you guys speak very highly of yourselves, and you're very confident. Whenever you talk, you come off confident, like you radiate in that confidence. You guys are very intellectual. You guys are able to present information to people in a way that they're able to understand and receive in a good manner. You guys may enjoy hikes, short trips, and just, you know, just knowledge. You guys are like trendsetters. You may be a like well-known person in your community or some sort of authoritative figure in your community. Like you may be like the mayor with this position, I could see. You enjoy road trips and like being with your friends, like road trips with your friends. You could also be successful like on YouTube or on social media, and like having some sort of small hometown business. Like that would be very successful for you. Yeah, so that's all I have for the sun in the third house. If you guys have the moon in the third house, you guys could be like the nurturing sibling. Your siblings or like even your cousins, like they can come to you for just information, or if they need someone to really talk to, like you're the first one they go to. With the moon in the third house, you're seen as like that mother figure, or maybe you had to be that mother figure to your siblings when they were younger. People like really trust you, they confide in you, they seek your counsel, they seek you out for advice. On the flip side of that, you may seek out people, or you may seek out people for that nurturing energy if you don't have that within you, depending on your moon sign that you have right here in the third house. So you may be seen as a sensitive sibling. And also when it comes to emotions and the moon in the third house, like the third house naturally rules Gemini, and the Gemini are the twins. You know, there's two sides to them. So I say with your moon in the third house, there's like two sides to you. Either you're not expressing your feelings and emotions, or on the other hand, like you are completely exploding and going off. It's one or the other, or it's one extreme or the other extreme with you, unless you really ground yourself, or if you have a grounded sign, right? You could be a very deep thinker, and you could feel people's emotions easily. So even whenever you're like watching television, you're the type of person with the moon in the third house to like really start crying and get into the character's feelings. Like you probably like bawl watching TV or Grey's Anatomy and things. You guys tend to have a deep attachment to your childhood area and your childhood home. Sometimes it takes you a while to find your own home or vehicle. Yeah. Okay, so that's all I have for the moon in the third house. If you guys have Mercury in the third house, this is so much mercurial energy in this third house. It's insane. You guys are highly intelligent. You may tend to interrupt people whenever they're talking to you, because you know, you just have so much you want to talk about, and you have so many things that you're knowledgeable about that you just really want to switch from this conversation to this conversation. Your mind races with this position. You tend to not be like the best listener, but a decent communicator whenever you learn to like really just slow down and feed people like a teaspoon at a time instead of shoving the information in their mouth at once. You are smart with this position, but you could have had trouble in school, like with staying focused and stuff like that. So you may have like that quote-unquote ADHD mind, or you know, your mind just races a lot, so you're not really able to stay focused on what the teacher's talking about because you're thinking about something else. But yeah, that's it for my Mercury in the third house. Venus in the third house creates this harmony with your siblings and with your early childhood learning. It was probably easy for you to learn, or you easily were able to receive the help that you needed whenever you were younger. You guys probably have a beautiful speaking voice or singing voice. You guys may like to go around your local area and just explore the art and the beauty. You guys are very charming. You are very charming when you speak. You're very compelling. People are compelled to you. You give me like the siren vibes. Like you serenade men or women with your voice. With Venus in the third house, you guys probably have like a beautiful car. Like I see a Venus in the third house person like having this hot pink car, a very nice vehicle, driving vehicle, because Venus people do like luxury, but and they also like harmony. So Venus in their third house, people are also like peacekeepers, I would say. They like to use their words to build relationships and things like that. So that's all I have for Venus in the third house. You guys have Mars in the third house. You guys are such fast talkers. People are probably like, hold up, what did you say? Slow down. I didn't understand what you're saying. You guys, you also have a tendency to exaggerate the truth or maybe lie sometimes with Mars in the third house. You can see that sometimes with people that are basically like underdeveloped people, or like younger. When you were younger, maybe like whenever you were in school, you lied a lot. You guys are probably like, you probably like to drive fast. You're fast drivers. You like fast cars. You guys can learn many different subjects, switching from this subject to that subject. In school, you guys were probably like low-key rebels because you always want to be the leader. So like maybe like you always got picked first whenever you were playing like games in school and stuff like that. You guys are probably the hot-headed sibling, like you go off easily, you'll pop off easily. You got to be careful with your words because you can use your words can be weapons whenever you have Mars in the third house. You could really hurt someone's feelings. You probably moved from home to home whenever you were younger, like you probably didn't have that much of a stable childhood. I see like a lawyer or, you know, like some sort of sergeant or judge having Mars in the third house, like really having that authoritative, like when you speak, you give off that leader vibe. Like people will follow you. When you speak, people are the type to follow you, but it's like, where are you leading the Mars? You make sure you're leading the people in the direction that not only benefits you, but make sure it benefits them too. That's all I have for Mars in the third house. If you guys have Jupiter in the third house, you guys were probably very lucky in your early years, or very lucky whenever it came to school. You guys are probably very like philosophical when you speak. You guys probably have so much knowledge on history or enjoy studying history. You guys probably have a lot of siblings or a lot of people that you consider to be like siblings. Even though you guys know a lot, and you do know a lot, you guys are very smart and you know a lot of things on different subjects. You guys may come off as a know-it-all. Jupiter here helps you like absorb a lot of information within a short period of time. When a Jupiter in a third house person speaks, they tend to speak very slow in a way that people tend to understand and pick up on that information easily. With Jupiter in third house, they need to make sure they actually share the information that they obtain and not just like information hog just for the fun of it. They may read a lot of books and stuff like that too. This placement alone can make a great motivational speaker, a preacher, or some sort of internet guru type of vibe. That's all I have for Jupiter in the third house. If you guys have Saturn in the third house, you guys may have had trouble during the school years in one way or the other. You may have had trouble with expressing yourself authentically, or even like this placement could also cause a strain with your siblings. Maybe you were split up from your siblings in early childhood. This placement can also create problems with trying to obtain a vehicle or keep a vehicle or keeping it maintenance. Maybe you have to be like the responsible person for other siblings. This person could have trouble with retaining information or suffer from ADHD or sluggishness. It's possible that a bipolar disorder can be seen from having this Saturn in the third house. You could be very reserved or shy when it comes to speaking. There is a side of you to where like you're very optimistic and you're very like driven one moment, and then the next moment you are very pessimistic. With Saturn in the third house, this can create a position where the native is like depressed. They face like a lot of depression. But like I said, yeah, you could have trouble with, or like restrictions on how you move around town, whether that's like your vehicle or also with Saturn in the third house, whenever you speak, you have this authoritative vibe to you. That's all I have for you guys who have Saturn in the third house. Hey guys, if you have Uranus in the third house, I'd say whenever you were younger, you were that wild child. You are a very unique individual. Your Uranus is placed in the third house, placed near Neptune or Pluto. You'll probably like hide this wild, unique side of yourself. Also, there is like a genius side to this placement. You could have like very genius ideas that can help the collective or your community in some sort of way. The third house naturally being a air sign and Uranus being a air sign, it could be hard for you to like ground the ideas that you come, or it could be hard for you to truly express yourself or to truly express what you're feeling. It could be hard for you to truly express what you're thinking. You just think very differently, and you're way ahead of your time when it comes to thinking. So it could be like kind of difficult to communicate with people because they're not really on your level. You're like years ahead. I could also see someone with Uranus in the third house being a like internet troll, or just clapping back if somebody just like tries to get at them online, you know. But I could see that with Uranus in the third house. But that's all I have for you guys with Uranus in the third house. Neptune in the third house reeks of creativity beyond our imagination. These people have the ability to create epic movies, epic books, epic games, like things out of this world that we would never even think of if it wasn't for the Neptune in the third house. They are very deep when it comes to speaking and writing. They could write poems that move people, plays, things like that. They can have a great ability to portray feelings of a character, so they would be good actresses and actors. This placement could also make one reserved. So it can make them come off reserved or appear reserved, but really they're not reserved. They're just in their head thinking all the time. They have so many grand ideas and thoughts flowing through their head that it would benefit a Neptune in the third house person to journal down the ideas, so that way they spend less time daydreaming. They actually have the ideas on paper, so that way if they want to take action, they can take action later on. But yeah, these are the daydreamers, guys. They're in their head all the time, and they have such great ideas, and they're just very creative and very eloquent. I would say they're very eloquent. But yeah, that's all I have for Neptune in the third house. If you have Pluto in the third house, you guys experienced a lot during early childhood. You guys may have been the kid that went through adult shit during their childhood, learned a lot of life lessons early on in childhood. You could have trouble with your vehicles and things like that. You could have gotten to like a wreck whenever you were a kid with Pluto in the third house, or whenever you were younger. Like a serious wreck, or experienced one firsthand, like saw one. When it comes to communication, you may have communicated at like a low level, had trouble communicating. There's this aspect of Pluto in the third house where you have to like transform your mind. Maybe you have to get like a lot of counseling and work on transmuting like the negative thoughts that you have there. I think you may have been like the outsider, the black sheep when it comes to like siblings and things like that. I think you guys are very intelligent. You guys are great investigators. You're able to learn a subject quickly and grasp onto that knowledge. You guys are extremely focused and detail oriented. You guys are very compelling when you talk. When you talk, there's a deepness to you. But yeah, that's all I have for Pluto in the third house. Anyways, guys, we have reached the end of this video with the planets in the third house. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today, and I will see you on the next one.